I was putting one of those head bolts in, and there must be just a little bit of slag or something, I don't know, inside this one stud hole or bolt hole here. So I'm just running a tap through it, only because you do not want to strip one of these. If you strip one, you're in it's a nightmare. So I'm just cleaning this out with the proper size thread. And that'll be that. Filling the cylinders in here with a rag just to make sure that don't get any nastiness in that nice clean bore. I'm just going to use the air gun, blast that out. We're good to go. Now these kits usually go on sale, these tap and die kits. A good thing, a good investment to have. I use them all the time. You know, you always cross thread something, right? Now that should go in just perfect. Just perfectly. Make sure my gasket's in there. Make sure those seat in well. They want to pop up on you all the time. Let's see how that works now. Ooh, look at that. And just so I don't always have to go flipping through the manual for my torque specs and torque pattern, I wrote it down on this head. Keeps it pretty handy. Makes it handy. So now I know what to do. So the first, drop this down to 18 foot-pounds. Two. My temp sensor. I don't have any thread sealing compound, so I'm just using this tape, Teflon tape. That'll work well. And we're going to fill the coolant in through the top here, because if I try to fill it in through my water bottle, now because I've done the delete, the thermostat, it's going to take a long time to get into the head here. I don't want that to happen, so I want to fill it from the top. So we're going to install the motor. I'm going to fill it through here. Easy peasy. Good and tight. You notice that your boots are cracked. You got to get new ones, or you're gonna melt this thing down. I've got that motor back in. It's always a good time doing that. A little tough to film. You guys have seen that in my other videos. So now we're going to fill it up the way that Kelsey told us to. We're going to fill it in through the top where the thermostat usually sits. And basically that's what I'm doing. And of course, I'm using my Evans, because Evans goes in everything I own. Once it's topped up to there, I'll put everything on and then I'll fill it up through the bottle as well. I like this Evans, you know, because there's no water in it, there's no expansion, there's no pressure in your system, and it actually protects your motor when you overheat it. That's the best characteristic of it. And I've overheated my motors. Lots of them. Of course, I'm going to have to burp the system because the coolers were completely dry. I blew everything out, just looking for any bits and pieces of thermostat that might be in there. Flushed it with water, flushed it with air, a lot of compressed air, nothing came out. So I know that my system is completely dry. The bottom cooler, the tunnel cooler, everything is dry right now. What are we doing? Still taking Carbs need to fill up a little bit. We'll know that we're starting to make progress when the water, the coolant bottle on the other side starts to fill up a little bit. Now it's filled the bottle up as well. So this is what's happened. The bottle on the other side is just about full all the way up. This is full. That means our bottom cooler is full. There's probably some air in this rear cooler somewhere. I don't want to pick this up too much. Any more than that, I'm just going to make a mess. What I'll do is I'll have to run it up and then burp it a little bit. Right on. It's still amazing that it wouldn't even quite take a full jug of this for that whole sled. Coolers, everything. When you're attaching hoses together, you want them to slide a little easier, or putting a hose into a fitting of some sort. Use the fluid that you're running through it and just lube it up a little bit and it'll slip right on really easily. That goes on there, that goes on there. On there. Okay, now I'm only running mineral oil in this. We usually run synthetic. He says with his kit you got to run mineral, especially on a break-in. You know, you always want to use mineral on a break-in. That goes way back. Synthetic's just a little too slippy. So I've got my mineral oil, and he said, I said 32 to 1. He said you can run it at 24 to 1 until you get your jetting figured out. So I'm going to just run it at about 24 to 1. Why not? We'll check the plugs. We'll see it. But boy, oh boy. 750, 125. That's a lot of oil. It's like we're running the chainsaw. There we go. I usually run this Syntrax from Coastal Blending, Irving Oils, in everything. But let's see. I'm gonna do it the way he says it. I've drained all the old gas out of there. Everything's completely dry. That's the jiggler, safety siphon. Get that at Kimpex, love that thing. While that's going, I'm gonna put my pipe on. Got my nice new Jaws can here. It's gonna sound good. It's gonna make a brappy noise. It's gonna be nice. This is their race can. How loud do you want it, Louie? I want it to be loud, Greg. Whoa. Usually it's only the young guys who want the real loud ones. Yeah, or the guys who like to make a lot of noise. Not recommended for your trail riding. Don't do that to your neighbors. There you go. So I'm gonna have to clutch this. I do have the quick clickers on it, so that's gonna give me some adjustment, but you know, it's just not gonna work, I know. So I'm gonna contact my good old buddy at ibackshift.com, Joey. Joey's the man, Dynamo Joe. He's awesome. Very, very knowledgeable. Make sure you go check him out on Do Talk. He's on there all the time. MX Rev Zone is his site, ibackshift.com, same site. Do you think we'll ever get it going, Jamie?
I'm wondering.
Sounds like yours. What? So, just got to check it for leaks and run it up for a minute. Check my coolant. Little run. Hey, it starts. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Look at that. Sucked a whole bunch of coolant out of there. See? That's what happens. That's what happens. That's why we do these things. I gave my son my fur mittens that everybody sees in the videos. They're kind of ruined. They shrunk. They got wet. Long story. So only my son can wear them now. And he said he got to school the other day and he was sitting there and he was feeling kind of depressed. And he put his hand on his glove or on his mitten and he smelled the two-stroke. He said he felt better after that. You gotta love that. Gotta love that. Brings a bit of a tear to your eye. A little bit more. There we go. Now, I'm going to put my helmet on, and I'm going to wrap it. Gotta wear your vest. Wear your vest. Definitely. All times. Sometimes we forget things. Somebody mentioned one of our riders didn't have his helmet done up the other day. Well, that happens, you know. Guys get a little excited, they want to go riding, and they forget to do things. Been there myself, I forget a lot of things. Forget my keys in my car even. I get my gloves. Now because this doesn't have the thermostat in it anymore, gotta remember to let it warm up a little longer. I've got a temperature gauge on it, I want to see it come up. That's stock jetting. Everything is stock, I just put that motor on. And I haven't made any adjustments to it. You know, he says I need to check the plugs and jet down, but the stock settings are a good starting place, right? But it goes really good, I'm telling you. With the old motor in it, which was, you know, it had a new top end on it and everything, I could turn about 8,200 RPM. It was jumping up. Now it's up to about 8,600, 8,700. I gotta back it off, so I'll turn it back the clickers a little bit. But even with this crappy track on here, it hooks up no problem. It'll stand up in, what am I in, 8 inches of snow? Like, so it's gonna be pretty good. Pretty darn happy. Running about 122, 123 degrees constantly. That's pretty good. Just gonna check for any oil leaks, or because I have that oil delete on here, right? And check for the coolant. I checked the coolant. I thought it was low, but it's actually full. Take her to the shop and give it a good looking over. But it's got a lot of power. It's got a lot more than it had, that's for sure. I am not kidding you. There's a little bit of rattling. Oh, my belt is too. So I'm gonna bring it into the shop, take a good look at it. I just got a new Camoplast Challenger Extreme track. Gonna hook that up, put that in there, 2.5 inches. Awesome. I have a new suspension for the rear end. It's out of a 11 free ride. It's a 154. So we're changing things up. This track on here is just too soft, not liking it. And what else? Oh, I don't know. I'm sure something else is coming down the pipe. I gotta thank you guys for watching. RKTek, thank you very much. twostrokeheads.com. Make sure you give Kelsey a call. Tell him Louie from PowerModz sent you. That's important. So far, it's pretty darn good. We're gonna shoot some more video. You guys are gonna have to stick around for that. Thanks for watching.
impossible.